Most of the people on the planet love a good old crunchy chicken, but how would you bring about the same crispy, crunchy feeling when you deal with mushroom? So in this video, we're going to learn how to make oyster mushroom fried chicken. Disclaimer, there is no chicken involved in this recipe, it's purely an oyster mushroom recipe, and hey, welcome to Alchemy. There are various kinds of oyster mushrooms ranging from yellow to pink in color. Now these mushrooms get their name from their oyster-shaped cap and because it's short. Now the ones I have seen in the stores are the king oyster mushrooms. They were of two types. One had a long meaty stem and the other was smaller and hence called the mini oyster mushrooms. I am using 300 grams of mini king oyster mushroom. Now these are going to be rinsed in water. Do wash this couple of times and remove any mushrooms that don't look fresh. Now you want to cut them into bite-sized pieces so that the batter gets coated well. Did you know that oyster mushrooms are nearly fat-free, providing just 0.3 grams per serving? Now here's a tip for you when you're gonna pick up these oyster mushrooms from the store. Look for mushrooms that are firm and dry and avoid the ones which are wilted or looks too moist. It's time to curl these beauties in our batter. We take equal amounts of crushed ginger and garlic. Now you could use the dry powders as well here. For the color, we're gonna add 1/4 teaspoon of turmeric, 1.5 tablespoon of chili powder or paprika, 1.5 tablespoon of powdered coriander, half a tablespoon of powdered fennel, 1 tablespoon of powdered black pepper, 3 crushed red chilies, 2 tablespoons of cornstarch, 2.5 tablespoon of plain flour, and salt to taste. Mix all these spices and let each of these oyster mushroom pieces get well coated. Now we're going to let this rest on the kitchen countertop for at least 10 to 15 minutes. It still does not look like a coated chicken. That's because we have one more thing to do. We're going to double batter this to get that crunchy KFC look. So we have a production line ready now. Oyster mushrooms, breadcrumbs, and eggs. Now let's heat up a pan and pour in some oil. And getting that oil to an optimum temperature is really important for that crunchy KFC. Always use one hand to dip the mushroom onto the egg wash and then onto the breadcrumbs. I'm telling you this out of experience. You don't want to use both your hands. Trust me, you will end up with breaded fingers. Meanwhile, I'm prepping these mushrooms. What do you think? Does this really mimic a KFC chicken? I mean, I did browse the seasoning for the actual KFC and I didn't have most of the seasonings. But making a dish mouth-watering is totally left to the creator, isn't it? What do you think? Do you agree? I don't have a thermometer. I just used my hand to assess the heat. Now, if it gets too hot to keep your hand up, then you have reached the ideal temperature. Now, drop in those oyster mushroom at this time to get our oyster mushroom fried chicken aka crunchy KFC. Now, don't drop all of the pieces at one shot. Do them in small batches so that you don't drop the temperature of the oil. Leave them untouched at least for 3 minutes and keep them frying until you see a nice dark brown color. This oyster fried mushroom recipe is perfect for a party as an alternative for vegetarians. Now, if you've been enjoying this video so far, come on, hit that like button. And if you click onto that subscribe button and the bell icon, then you would not be missing my weekly uploads. Now, these look perfectly fried, looking like how an oyster mushroom fried chicken should look. You can easily trick someone into believing that these are chicken. I mean, look at it. It just looks like chicken nuggets. Now, these would need to be eaten hot as it tastes way better when it's warm. Dip into the sour cream or ketchup or mayo or ranch dressing or anything that you like. If this video was totally worth your time, then check how I made vegan sour cream, or how about chocolate cake from garbanzo beans. Until next time, see you later.